Fashion, like language, reflects the values, aspirations, and socio-political landscapes of a society. In ancient China, the concept of clothing transcended mere function, serving as a key marker of social status, identity, and the philosophies that governed the empire. From the early dynasties to the vibrant fashion of the Tang and Song periods, Chinese attire evolved significantly, adapting to changing political landscapes, cultural exchanges, and innovations in textile craftsmanship. The first traces of Chinese fashion can be found in the Neolithic period, where the earliest garments were constructed from plant fibers and animal skins. These rudimentary outfits were designed for practical purposes, offering protection against the elements and serving the basic needs of daily life. However, even in these early stages, clothing was also used to signify tribal affiliation and social roles. Archaeological findings from sites such as the Hanfu culture in the Zhejiang province reveal evidence of weaving techniques and the use of silk fibers, though rudimentary compared to later periods. Early garments were often simple tunics and skirts, with the use of natural dyes gradually enhancing the visual appeal of the garments. Over time, the introduction of more complex weaving methods and the discovery of silk revolutionized the development of Chinese clothing. By the time of the Shang Dynasty, circa 1600 to 1046 BCE, silk had become an integral part of Chinese fashion, symbolizing both wealth and status. The Chinese were the first civilization to master the process of silk production, a closely guarded secret for centuries. Silk was not only a luxury material, but also a significant symbol of the emperor's power, with garments woven from it reserved for the highest echelons of society. In this period, clothing began to reflect hierarchical structures, with elaborate garments worn by the ruling class. The robes and attire of the aristocracy were decorated with intricate patterns symbolizing different aspects of Chinese cosmology, such as dragons, phoenixes, and other mythological creatures. These designs were imbued with meaning and were meant to convey the wearer's connection to the divine and the natural world. The color and materials of clothing also served as indicators of rank. For example, the emperor and the imperial family would wear robes made of the finest silk, often in vibrant colors like yellow, which was reserved for the emperor, or red, associated with power and prosperity. During the Zhou Dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, the concept of ritual clothing, (lei), emerged, further entrenching the idea that what one wore was tied to moral conduct and societal roles. During the Han Dynasty, Chinese fashion began to take on a more distinct and structured form. Clothing design became more sophisticated, and new techniques were developed in textile production. The Han court introduced the famous Hanfu, a style of clothing that became iconic in Chinese history. The Hanfu was characterized by its loose fit, long flowing sleeves, and wide belts, signifying a graceful and dignified appearance. This period also saw the development of elaborate accessories, including jewelry, hairpieces, and footwear, which were made from a variety of materials such as jade, gold, and bronze. The Hanfu was worn by both men and women, though the specific cut and adornments varied depending on the wearer's status and gender. For women, the robes were often accompanied by sashes, while men wore belts and draped their sleeves in a manner that symbolized their adherence to Confucian ideals of propriety. The importance of silk continued to grow during the Han period, and it became a valuable commodity traded along the Silk Road. The routes connecting China with Central Asia and the Mediterranean not only facilitated the exchange of goods, but also introduced foreign influences into Chinese fashion. As a result, silk fabrics became more refined, and intricate embroidery techniques were employed to create more elaborate patterns. The Han Dynasty's enduring influence on fashion can still be seen in modern Chinese clothing, with Hanfu being celebrated today as a symbol of cultural heritage. The Tang Dynasty is often considered a golden age for Chinese fashion, marked by bold, innovative styles that reflected the cosmopolitan nature of the empire. During this period, the Tang capital of Chang'an, modern-day Xi'an, became a bustling hub of culture and trade, attracting merchants, artists, and fashion influences from all over Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. The Tang court favored a more extravagant and opulent style of dress, with clothing designed to showcase wealth and status. For both men and women, garments were often made of luxurious fabrics such as silk, satin, and brocade, and adorned with intricate embroidery, featuring motifs like dragons, phoenixes, and flowers. The colors were vibrant, and the garments often featured long, flowing sleeves and high collars, creating a dramatic and dignified silhouette. Women of the Tang period were known for their bold fashion choices, which included wide-sleeved robes and high-waisted skirts. Hairstyles were elaborate, with women wearing their hair in intricate buns and coils, often adorned with precious hairpins and jewelry. This period also saw the development of the rukun style for women, which combined a long, flowing tunic with a high-waisted skirt. This style was practical yet luxurious, symbolizing the flourishing of trade and artistic expression during the Tang period. The Tang Dynasty was also a time of increased interaction with foreign cultures, particularly through the Silk Road. Persian and Central Asian influences began to appear in Chinese fashion, such as the adoption of more form-fitting garments and the introduction of new fabrics and dyes. The Tang court's embrace of diversity in fashion mirrored the multicultural nature of the empire, where people of various ethnic backgrounds coexisted and contributed to the cultural fabric of the empire. The Song dynasty brought about a shift in fashion, characterized by an emphasis on simplicity, refinement, and elegance. This period was marked by a move away from the flamboyant and ornate styles of the Tang dynasty, with a focus on understated beauty and intricate craftsmanship. Clothing during the Song period was designed to highlight the elegance of the wearer, and a greater emphasis was placed on the cut and fit of garments. The Song dynasty is often associated with the development of Songfu, a refined style of clothing that prioritized practicality and comfort. The robes of this period were less elaborate than those of the Tang, but featured intricate embroidered details and subtle patterns that conveyed wealth and refinement. The fabrics used in Song clothing were lighter and softer, reflecting the changing tastes of the period. Women's fashion during the Song dynasty was marked by a more modest, restrained style compared to the previous era. Dresses with high collars and straight sleeves became more common, and the emphasis was placed on creating a graceful, elongated silhouette. Accessories such as fans, jewelry, and headpieces were used sparingly but effectively to complement the overall look. As China entered the Ming, 1368 to 1644, and Qing, 1644 to 1912. Dynasties. Clothing styles continued to evolve, shaped by the political and social changes of these periods. The Ming Dynasty saw the resurgence of traditional Han Chinese clothing styles, including the Hanfu, with elaborate designs and vibrant colors. This was a period of stability and cultural revival, where fashion became even more symbolic of status and authority. In the Qing dynasty, under the rule of the Manchu emperors, a distinct style emerged, characterized by the Qipao, or cheongsam, a form-fitting dress with a high collar and slit sides. The Qing court also placed heavy emphasis on clothing as a symbol of imperial power and authority, with the emperor's robe often embroidered with dragons to represent his divine rule. The impact of ancient Chinese fashion cannot be overstated. The principles of clothing as a symbol of hierarchy, cultural identity, and status have had a lasting influence on Chinese society, and the designs of the past continue to inspire contemporary Chinese fashion. Whether in the revival of the Hanfu or the adaptation of traditional elements in modern designs, the history of Chinese clothing remains an integral part of the country's cultural heritage. The story of fashion in ancient China is not just one of textiles and design. It is a story of social transformation, cultural exchange, and artistic expression. From the simple beginnings of Neolithic clothing to the opulent silks of the Tang Dynasty and the refined elegance of the Song period, fashion in ancient China was inextricably tied to the cultural and political currents of its time. Through their garments, the people of ancient China communicated their beliefs, their status, and their place within the grand tapestry of the empire. This deep connection between fashion and society remains one of the defining features of Chinese culture, and the influence of ancient Chinese fashion continues to reverberate in the designs of today. Whether in the sleek lines of modern Qipaos or the intricate embroidery of contemporary Chinese couture, the legacy of ancient Chinese fashion endures, a testament to the lasting power of design as a reflection of human culture.